Hey everybody. So, if you know me at all, you know that I'm a fan of the Triggernometry podcast crew. I'm a fan of Constance Kissin, Francis Foster, and the whole gang there. I've wanted to talk about this Tide Bank issue that they've had since Friday when I found out about it, and I was livid. I really wanted to really come on and just be like, fuck bullshit, blah blah blah. But then I got to stop and think about it. We can't force businesses to do businesses with other people that they don't want to, but at the same time, at what point can a business cancel a contract if they've already agreed with? Now obviously there's going to be terms of service that a bigger business imposes upon smaller businesses, i.e. like if my side business, I went and got a loan, I have to abide by the loan, and I have to abide by various stipulations. Same thing as an individual. If I were to go get a credit card, I have to abide by the terms of service. I have to abide by the terms of service here on YouTube, all this stuff. But with that said, I have to ask, when should somebody be allowed, or when should a business be allowed to actually cancel my service? And my initial thought is never, but at the same time I have to be realistic about it. If there is something that is so egregious about what I'm doing, and I mean honest to goodness egregious, I'm calling for threats of violence to people, I'm actually committing violations of crimes, then yes, my business should be, whatever businesses I'm dealing with should be able to shut down what I'm doing. But if I'm offending people's sensibilities, if I'm offending you as a person, and you demand that my business partners or people who provide me services cancel me outright for that reason, why should they? The fact that in free speech, especially here in America, and I think it should be this way worldwide, you have to risk offending people. You have to risk being offensive, because sometimes you have to call people out for their batshit crazy ideas. You have to call them out for the issues that are inherently flawed. Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'll never claim to be. But when it comes to inalienable rights, if we are going to allow businesses, especially here in the US, hi Millie, hi Bennett. Got interrupted by the dogs. If we're going to allow businesses the right to promote candidates and spend their money on elections, then we have to allow them the right to their speech. And where we draw the line in speech is if you have a contract, and or in cases of government institutions. But if I were to, let's just say, get big enough and I were to go on tour, one of the things in my contract will be that if I go to a venue, the venue will not cancel unless there's significant threats. Much in the way that Tim Pool, when he did the one event in New Jersey, and the venue closed down because of what they considered serious threats by people, I better see the threat, or hear the threat. I want recorded proof of the threat. That, in and of itself, would make me be like, okay, I've got to consider the safety of the other people around, not just myself. I'm willing to take on certain threats. I'm willing to take on certain things, but they might not be. And circling way back to the Tide Bank thing. Tide got into business with Triggernometry on the understanding that Triggernometry is a podcast. Now, granted, they don't know every little detail about it, but if you're going to allow a business to provide a service to people and get them going and help them basically become famous to the point where they can actually thrive on their business, what right is it of you because you disagree with their opinion? I'm sorry, but that doesn't cut it. That's not a violation of terms of service. Now, granted, in the grand scheme of things, violation of a terms of service is subjective, never objective. I mean, just look at the YouTube terms of service. Look at my video from last night. P-Dog Night got a video demonetized because of reasons where it violated the monetization and suitability for advertisers policy, yet did not violate terms of service. So why, where, and how did it violate the acceptability for advertisers policy when, according to P-Dog Nights, it doesn't? And that's the thing. Why do we allow these contracts to happen to where there's basically a built-in escape clause for any reason that one party deems? Like, let's have legitimate contracts. Let's have legitimate opportunities to say, hey, look, this is why we don't agree with you on this. There's this other bank that is willing to take over your business. We've already talked to them. Would you be willing to go to them? They'll even honor our, whatever special terms or agreements we have with your particular account. Find ways of doing it. Don't just actually close down the account. And that's my beef. Is like I can't justifiably sit here and say that Tide has no opportunity to cancel the contract. That's just foolish. At the same time, I don't think they should be able to cancel it for any goddamn reason they want. I'm sorry. They should be able to cancel it with reason, or be forthcoming and be like, hey, we've had a change in philosophy and how we want to deal with certain social things. Your brand doesn't fit with us. We would like to give you 90 days to find another bank. Or, hey, we have found another bank that's willing to take you guys on that offers a very similar product, but they've even gone so far as to agree to honor what our contract is. Or whatever, like, be an honest interlocutor with each other. The problem is that we are too quick to deal with, just dropping shit and letting it go. And that's a problem. That is what we need to get over. This is what businesses need to get over. And the problem is lawyers. Lawyers have made the world so ungodly unproductive that, just look at the litigious system and the legal system here in the United States. How litigious we are as a society. People get sued for everything. Hell, I'm even waiting for emails from YouTube Legal for me calling them Team YouTube useless right now. I'm just expecting it at this point. But the point being that, we have allowed ourselves as a society to get to the point where it is run by lawyers. Not even just lawyers, corporate lawyers. To the point where you can't even upload a video without having to do 15 billion different agreements. It's just asinine. So, I'm not asking you guys to do anything to Tide Bank or anything. Let this play out. But what I am asking is just keep in mind that when you're thinking about starting up something like a successful podcast like Triggernometry, be careful in who you choose to bank with. Be careful who you choose to be your service provider for your website and hosting and all this other stuff. Because that might come back to bite you in the ass. And honestly, free speech dies in the dark. Bad ideas are allowed to thrive in the dark because we are unwilling to deal with them. And if you're unwilling to talk about any idea, then you're unwilling to support free speech. So, oh hey, helicopter right there. So anyways, we just need to allow cooler heads to prevail. And yes, I did tweet out on Friday at Tide Business, and I even called their CEO somebody who doesn't support free speech. Yeah, I'm proud I did that, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'd even do it right now if I had to. But I think the point that this issue has made me realize, and P-Dog's issue yesterday, is that we've gone from being cordial and nice and treating each other with respect to treating everybody as adversaries. I don't want to be your adversary. I want to be somebody that you can sit down and have a beer with, and we can discuss deep philosophical thoughts, political thoughts on why the Seahawks are the best NFL team in the league, regardless of what anybody says. Why the Mariners are the best, even though I know they're not. Like, I mean, seriously, if we can't just have conversations, then we end up like Barney and Wade Boggs from The Simpsons.
And I say England's greatest prime minister was Lord Palmerston.
Hit the elder.
Lord Palmerston.
Hit the elder.
Okay, you asked for it, Boggs.
Peace, everybody.